You know, over the past couple of days, actually this past weekend, things have been, in my opinion, incredibly hilarious. There are people online literally going around and trying to defend a company like Sony and PlayStation, calling the entire boycott of physical media and the boycott of Sony themselves as performative, as some way of going around and trying to gain clout online, as if that's going to be a way of solving the issue, when in reality the problem is the fact that a multi-billion-dollar corporation is removing actual access from you, a proper customer. We don't use the word consumer around here. It's time to respect yourselves. But you see, the reason why I talk about this weekend, it's basically because of this. It turns out that the PSN network was in fact down for over 8 hours on Friday, restricting users from accessing their library, stopping people from doing their online check-ins of brand new games they in fact bought so they in fact couldn't even play them, and restricting multiplayer access whatsoever. So unless you had your games already licensed digitally on your console from the DRM before, or you had a physical disc, you weren't even able to use your entire console at all for most of the day, rendering it being nothing more than an actual paperweight. And this is the company, this is the brand, this is the actual console manufacturer that is telling you to your face that they want you to go all digital in 2028. You know what? I don't think so. And the only thing that was proven this weekend is the fact that every person who is fighting against PlayStation, who is standing up for their customer rights, who's going around and saying no disc, no buy, is not being performative. They got the one word everybody has been dying to give them. And that word is validation. Now, even though PSN is back online as of the time of this video being out, that doesn't mean that we didn't find out other major specific things that were going on with PSN and why that blackout even actually occurred. And don't worry, we'll talk about that more later on in this video. But you see, the real interesting part about what's been going on isn't just the fact that more information has been coming out about why PSN in fact went down. It also turns out that gamers are in fact sick and tired of this, and they're even going to structure an actual blackout to let Sony know that people are not going to be putting up with any of this garbage whatsoever moving forward. And you would think that even with all the bad press, even with PSN going down for almost an entire day and having everyone around the internet basically just drag you back and forth across the way, what did PlayStation and Sony even do? Did they respond? Did they say anything? No. What they did, though, instead, was step on a rake. Multiple rakes. Because according to Charlie Intel on Twitter posting, a new PlayStation controller patent showcases a controller with no physical buttons. The controller would feature digital buttons to let users pick which buttons are located and where. Okay, brother, I'm sorry. The jokes write themselves. First they went after your physical games, now they're going after your actual physical buttons. If this patent is in fact correct, and if the next PlayStation controller in fact moves forward with this, this could be one of the funniest things ever seen. Do you want digital games? No, we're going to give you a digital button instead. Look, I'm going to be real about this. A lot of people don't like touch controls. I myself am one of those people. I do, however, though, love gyro and I love trackpads. If they want to make a better controller, this should be the model. The Steam controller is honestly one of the best controllers I've ever actually used pretty much my entire life. It's got everything there and it fits my hand perfectly. The problem, though, is PlayStation really can never let go of this actual meme. And getting roasted in the comment section isn't any better for them either. Like I said, they want to take away your physical games, and now they want to take away your actual physical buttons. What are you going to be pressing then? Just a tapping on the screen to say, hey, look, this is where my button wants to go? Sure, I guess for like people who need it for accessibility options, that's a good sign. But literally, it's an actual meme, and it just keeps happening to themselves over time. But it gets better. And no, I'm not kidding. Because Sony Electronics tweeted this: rediscover the warmth, detail, and ritual of vinyl with the LX3 turntable. Drop the needle, press play, and enjoy music the way it was meant to be heard. Time to upgrade. Anyone who was sitting here trying to defend this company, any analyst that was going around and saying, well, here's the actual reason why they're doing this, will explain to me why Sony Electronics is making a goddamn turntable so you can play vinyl physical records on that turntable to listen to music on. What is even happening? A media that is even more niche than games are right now. They're literally making the turntable for it and presenting it to you as if this is a physical product you should in fact buy to listen to vinyl records. I just can't. Stop and think to yourself for a second if you haven't crossed this in your mind just yet. When was the last time you bought a CD or an album? When was the last time you bought a vinyl record? And Sony's gonna literally sit there and tell you to your face, well, we have to do it because that's where the customers are moving. That's where the industry is going. Yeah, you're gonna turn around and make a goddamn record player in the year 2026. I just can't, bro. Why is it that every other hobby, every other medium can have their physical copies, their physical records, their physical books, their physical CDs, and everything else in between, but I can't have physical games, and neither can you? Well, they're telling you to your face it's the consumer behavior, even though you're not consumers, you're customers. Never forget it. And every other pundit and analyst is going around saying, well, you just got to kind of deal with it, I guess. And the comments, too, you got to do your comments, Right, yeah, okay. It doesn't matter what kind of information you put out. The fact that Sony and PlayStation are still making actual physical vinyl records and actual physical record players and everything else across the board that people are, in fact, buying. And they're saying time to upgrade, to feel the warmth again, or whatever the hell they want to say overall, trying to market another physical product while removing our goddamn buttons and removing the damn games. This company is an actual trash fire disaster, more than I've ever in fact seen. The literal reasoning right now that not only PSN went down and people couldn't access the library, but the fact that they're going around and having a patent to no longer have buttons on the controller and now making record players truly shows that this company is nothing more than a bunch of clowns stuffed into a car and nobody knows whatever the hell they're doing. While they're removing physical games, they're adding physical media to every other aspect in your life. But don't worry, PlayStation has a plan for you. They've got everything taken care of. They're going to make sure you're all set with your digital library and lack of ownership that you'll never have in this entire space whatsoever. Get ready to never play video games ever again. Because according to Culture Crave posting, PlayStation Network has been down for several hours today. This was on Friday at 12:46 p.m., July 24th. With the article from Push Square saying, PSN appears to be struggling globally, with Sony's official status page saying all services are up and running. Down Detector shows a huge spike in reports over the past few hours in the US, which is gradually easing. In the UK, more reports are coming in as time passes. From my end, the entire network is down, including even game downloads and the PS app. I can't see my most recently played games, trophies, or browse my friends list or connect to game servers. Some of us can't even verify our game licenses to play digital games. Not exactly ideal in this non-physical era Sony's trying to force us into. Others are able to at least see their recently played games, but the PS Store is mostly broken. It seems like even the web-based PS Store is offline. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen, and here we stand. Your all-digital future locked behind the little internet connection that you require to run everything that you've paid for. You will give them all your money and have nothing to own in return. And clearly it goes to show that even the people at Push Square were having a difficult time trying to get any game even up and running for almost over 8 hours that day on Friday. And that's just one day when Marvel Tokon had their beta. Imagine when bigger games launch. Imagine when GTA 6 launches and it requires a digital license key to be online checked in before you even own that license for 14 days. And that's the part that people really are truly ignoring in all of this. There were people saying, you guys, you gotta send it to your home console and you'll have access to your games there. It's because you're game sharing. Stop game sharing and you'll have access to your digital games then. Or my personal favorite was, oh, you're just spreading FUD. I can play my digital games just fine right now. This is all You guys, I swear to God, yeah, the amount of copium I was seeing over the weekend truly knew no actual bounds. But I think what's really confusing was the fact that those statements were partially true. Yes, your home console had to be set directly for you to access some games. Yes, digital games did work offline after you've already had your permanent license added to your account after the 14-day DRM policy, which everybody seems to apparently forget for some reason. And yes, people were upset at the fact that their games and systems weren't working when PlayStation just 3 weeks ago said we're going to be moving all digital. Literally, none of this was FUD, none of this was misinformation. What this actually was, though, is a warning. PSN going down and people not accessing their games, not accessing their recently played, their friends list, their trophy list, and everything else across the board, even though those same people had perfectly fine working internet connections. So don't play this entire line of like, it's 2026. Who doesn't have internet in 2026 response, which really just proves to me and everybody else that you never lived through the Diablo 3 Era 37 fiasco. But again, the funnier part about all of this really isn't the fact that PSN went down. It wasn't the fact that people were defending PlayStation. It's the fact that this was the literal first step in you realizing why you as a gamer do not have any control in your actual library. There's no competition for PlayStation. There's not going to be physical media for PlayStation anymore either. And you're going to be at the behest of whatever happens on the internet overall to access your entire library that you actually paid for. You see, the real culprit isn't just PSN going down. It's not just PlayStation themselves removing physical media. It's the fact that right now, there are two things stopping people from having any faith in PlayStation whatsoever. Number one is being a closed ecosystem, not having access to any other storefront at all, thereby being beholden to only buying on PlayStation and their storefront and their PSN network, restricting you to what you can and can't buy, what you can and can't play, and even when you can actually play it. And the second problem overall is going to be this, the 14-day DRM policy online check-in requirement. The people who said they couldn't play their video games, it wasn't because they were spreading misinformation or FUD. What they were telling people was they can't log in to check in on PSN to verify their actual temporary license, which now requires 14 days of online check-in before it becomes a permanent one to play that digital game offline. That's where the issue is. They're putting you over a barrel every single time, and PlayStation is restricting you on what you can and can't play and when you can and can't play depending upon when their servers go down. Oh, did I say their servers? Haha. Silly me. You think they own anything? Come on now. Nitroid on Twitter posted the irony of PlayStation Network going down because they licensed their servers through AWS instead of owning them. Laughing, crying emoji. To be clear, Sony using AWS is extremely normal. It's industry standard practice. A huge chunk of the internet runs on it. The irony is that the outage put them on the other end of their quote, "You don't own it, you license it" policy. It's funny, but far from a damning scandal. You see, I'm going to agree and disagree with Nitroid on this. Number one, I think it is incredibly hilarious how PlayStation is telling you you're going to license it and not own it. You're going to buy it digitally and that's the only way. You're going to give us all that money and you're going to get nothing in return except digital ones and zeros, and we're going to pretend when you can actually play it. To them going around and saying, you know what? We're also not going to own our own servers. We're going to rent them through Amazon Web Services. And when AWS goes down, which it definitely has gone down before. Even Cloudflare has gone down quite often, basically rendering the entire planet almost useless from being online. It really goes to show how insanely stupid all of this practice in fact actually is. It doesn't matter how much money this company makes or how much money they're going to be saving by going all digital. What actually matters is the fact that if they even want to sell digital games, they have to have their servers and network up to even do that in the first place. People can't buy games if the networks are down. People can't verify their purchases if the network is down. People can't use your actual network if the internet is down. And it doesn't matter how much they pay for their internet. If AWS or Cloudflare is down, it's all kaput. It's all toast. Nothing is going to last. This entire thing should be a perfect example of why games should not go all digital. And it also proves why there is no competition in this space for PlayStation to even go through and provide you with actual digital ownership at all if they're going to make this move. Where I totally disagree with Nitroid is going to be on his second tweet though. Even though it is standard practice, the big thing about all of this is the fact that PlayStation doesn't want to give you actual ownership. They don't want to pay the little extra fees to the stalkers, to the shippers, to everybody else in logistics, to putting the game on the shelf and then paying Walmart or Target that extra $10. Instead, what they want to do is collect every penny for themselves. Well, their greed is going to be their downfall. I1X posted on Twitter saying, "How is it possible that PSN was down for hours today and PlayStation didn't even have the decency to post something on their official channels? The level of disrespect is unbelievable. I have never seen anything like this before. We need to put them in their place." Detective Rue also said this: "Sony accidentally proved how unprepared they are for the all-digital future, making a case for physical media." Jensen on Twitter also posted a screenshot of his PlayStation library saying, "It's nice to know Sony's prepared to go all digital. PS Network is down and I can't play any of my digital games," showcasing his library with locks all over almost every single game he's bought digitally that he cannot access or play with PSN being down. And it's not just starting with the actual users themselves not being able to access their games. It turns out that even Insider Gaming posted this, showcasing how PlayStation's network outage of PSN now postponed the literal EA Sports FC26 World Championship for multiple hours, with PSN in fact being down, unable to play the game that they've paid for, the game that they're competing on for $1 million prize pools. Way to go, PlayStation. You again. This kind of thing actually proves exactly why people should not be embracing an all-digital future. Even if AWS goes down, or Cloudflare goes down, or hell, you lose internet access in your own home, you should still be able to play the games that you've purchased, that you've bought, whether they're physical or digital. PlayStation should be able to give you the actual rights digitally. Day one. The day you buy the game, you should have the permanent license. You shouldn't have to check in. You shouldn't need PSN. That should be on your console, on your account, attached the second you buy it. They've got your credit card. They've got your info. They've got your ID. They know it's you. They know you bought it. You should not have to check in for 14 days to make sure that you're being a good boy on their networks. And to make matters even worse, if everything else goes down and they still won't give you the game DRM free, you should at least be able to get a physical copy of the game to play it offline, or even have access to your digital games offline as well. But you see though, it's not done yet because PlayStation has another problem to deal with: the actual users. And they aren't happy. Because according to Push Square on Twitter posting this, angry PlayStation fans propose a PS5 blackout in protest of Sony's disc decision. In fact, here is the letter by Does It Play with the 7-day blackout information as well, and what they're proposing to do. For several years now, Sony Interactive Entertainment has continued to grow further apart from its fan base, whether it's closing beloved studios like Bluepoint, pursuing a misguided live service strategy, canceling fan events, leaving PSVR 2 to die, or being completely out of touch with the franchises players want to see return. PlayStation has never felt more disconnected from its community. Ending physical discs in 2028 feels like the last straw. We understand there's only so much SIE can control, but with the decisions that are within its control, the company continues to mismanage the strong position it inherited from the PS4 era. There are so many issues with PlayStation right now that bringing back physical games would only be meeting players halfway. There's still so much more SIE can do. We miss Twisted Metal, SOCOM, Sly Cooper, and Resistance. We miss PlayStation Experience. We miss Japan Studios. With that, we're calling on PlayStation players to participate in an economic and gameplay blackout from Sunday, August 23rd at 7 p.m. local time through Sunday, August 30th at 7 p.m. local time. Players can participate by turning off their consoles or logging out for 7 days. We feel that this period gives publishers and developers minimal impact while still giving players a voice. With Mr. Matty Plays quote tweeting Does It Play and saying, "Some will call what needs to be done here pretentious, pointless, or performative, but the fight needs to continue every step of the way. You don't need to purchase all things physical. Nobody's asking that of you. You should care about your rights as a customer. That less competition is bad for you. They're killing a whole market and pushing games further into a country club hobby." Although I do love the idea of the blackout whatsoever, I feel like 7 days would in fact be a bit too much. Maybe Monday or Tuesday would be better, or just a shorter time frame overall, because that way people can still enjoy their consoles, still play their games, and still relieve their stress without having to deal with everything else that PlayStation is in fact trying to do. But I gotta say this, the people that are calling this entire thing performative or clout chasing or anything else like that, those people are doing nothing more than trying to stop you from having actual ownership. They shouldn't be listened to, they shouldn't be talked about, and they damn sure shouldn't be given any airtime whatsoever. They don't care about you, they don't care about this hobby, and all they want to do is go ahead and have the company keep the status quo, putting them over a barrel, still charging them more for nothing, while their actual ownership and customer rights are stripped away every single day. But you know what? I want to hear what you guys got to say about this in the comments section down below. Are you going to participate in the PSN blackout? Are you going to go ahead and just stop buying games on PlayStation and move to another platform altogether? Or are you going to wait this whole thing out and see how it plays out in the end? But like I said, I want to hear what you've got to say. And speaking about what you got to say, here's the comment of the day for Friday's video. With KA Mad Inc. saying this: digital games should only be $40. If PlayStation said, hey, no more DRM, no more 14-day check-in, no need to be connected to PSN, and digital games are $40, I don't think anybody would have been mad at all whatsoever with their decision of going all digital. But instead, we're getting the opposite. 14-day DRM check-in needed to be on PSN, and games are going to be more expensive than ever. It's almost like these companies have no idea what they're even doing. But as always, if you guys want to see more of this kind of content though, more PC port reviews, gaming news, Steam Deck videos, fanboy content, and live streams, subscribe to the channel. If you want Discord access or emotes during those live streams, become a YouTube member. It's as low as $1. Look, if you don't want to spend the buck, don't even sweat it. Just come on down to the streams Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live right here on the channel as I wear a banana suit and get insulted with everybody using text-to-speech. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. The community's actually amazing, and the live streams are insane. Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live right here on this channel. Be there. You don't want to miss it. Do you want even more of me though? Don't worry. Check out Oh No It's Alex Gaming. Link to that channel is in the description down below. It's a second channel where I stream daily, Monday to Friday, 10:30 a.m. to around 2 p.m. And I post new videos there every single Monday as well. Different kind of topics, different kinds of stuff, but still all related to video games. So come on down, hang out in the live streams, check out the new videos, and enjoy as I get you through your workday. With all that being said, though, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you gooners next time. Peace!